up, everyone? We got a new one. It's fishing down the bank. Man, listen, I really wasn't even planning on doing this video, right? I'll give y'all a little backstory on what happened. Me and my buddy Jason never get to fish big bass tournaments. We usually kind of run into some like entry fee rules and things like that. The first big bass tournament I ever fished was back in college, and my buddy Eddie, we actually won a boat on Conroe. It's been years since I fished one, and this was kind of a different one. This was like a Skeeter Owners Tournament. So I just got my new Skeeter, my FXR, so I was like, man, let's jump into one of these like Skeeter Owners events. I've never been able to fish one. Well, it's on Lake Fork, so it's not necessarily a big bass tournament. You're allowed to weigh in small fish too, because it's a slot lake. So you either have to catch one 16 or under or over 24. So it's basically, you're still just weighing in one fish, right? We literally make the decision to drive down there that morning. Drove like 2.5 hours early in the morning. We got there kind of late, but we knew it's Lake Fork, Skeeter Owners Tournament. There's going to be thousands of boats on the lake. We're like, oh, okay, no big deal. I haven't been on the lake in like years. I think this is my like third time there. I don't really know much about it. I've caught a couple big ones. I think I've caught one almost well over 10. I've caught a couple other giants there the few times I've been there, but I've never been there in May, so I really don't know what to expect. I barely even know how to run the lake, I'll be honest with you. So if you saw me out there running, there might have been some places that were kind of sketchy. I don't know. The way we fish is we're like, hey, look, you can still weigh in 15 inches and get paid. So we're like, hey, we'll just go down the bank. It's still early enough that we think there might be a big one, so we might get lucky, and if not, we might catch some smaller ones. So we're just gonna go put our heads down and just start picking banks and just go down them. And we're gonna pick long like banks that we can go for you know, an hour down the bank, you know, and just cover water, try to figure out how to catch fish there. Like what's our game plan? What's our pattern, right? No, there's gonna be a lot of people, like I said. So I'm making this video because we had tons of encounters on the lake, right, with people. They were all good, except for one, just one. And I said that's pretty good, but I'm gonna show y'all how we handle situations, what I think's right and wrong. You might not agree with me, but you can hear us and we talk everything out. We talk between me and Jason, we would kind of talk things out about whether or not we thought something was right or wrong. And like I said, this was all, we didn't plan on making a video like this. I just kind of, when this encounter occurred with this one group, this one guy, I had to go back. Like I said, I don't even have all the footage of the whole day because I really wouldn't, I was making a video about Fork and how we caught fish, and that's gonna be my next video. And I really didn't want to put this encounter on that video because I just get tired of putting stuff like that on videos of these bad instances with fishermen. You know, I really don't like it, but I'm putting on this one, a separate one, because I want to show you all the good times we had with everyone else and how everyone was very respectful and it was awesome. Everyone was great. But if you have questions, right, about what you think is right or wrong on the water,
boat
or like
in front of us,
what you think,
you can see,
I'm gonna
it's
kind of go
definitely
over
on the bank.
What we did,
and
I'm
he's
gonna talk
throwing
over the
towards the
video,
bank.
so you'll kind of get to see
He's been
throughout
throwing
the
there the whole
day
time. He's close
all
to the
these
bank.
different things.
There's actually
and
pepper
I think
grass
it's very informative. I think you're really going to see a lot
in front of this
and then you're going to get to see this one guy
out in front,
and he was
kind of
looking
where
for
we're
it, man.
casting
I mean,
to,
he was
too.
like,
so
he woke up that morning.
See it, I'll look
with the wrong attitude. We went with the attitude of like, hey, we're going to see a lot of people today. It's going to be one of those days, no big deal.
And I actually
he went
had
into
like
it
a 3 or
going,
4 pounder.
man, he was looking for
first
something.
cast on
so
it, boil
anyways,
on it. And so
let's dive right on into
fishing down towards them. They're throwing
big bass
past the pepper grass too, up towards the bank,
going down the bank.
No big deal. So here we go. I'm gonna start right here. I really didn't get to show us pulling into this pocket early in the morning. I wanted to show it because I think there was like 9 people in a cluster on this major point up in like 7-8 foot of water. There was like 3 in this one pocket, 2 in this one pocket, and 1 in this other pocket, and we just picked the one pocket in the middle that no one was in. So we started there because we didn't want to get around anyone, and then we just started going down the bank. And I'm showing we had fished the whole pocket and we're coming out, and there was the first boat. So you're looking at the first boat. So like I said, you can kind of see, but if you watch, we really pay attention to some things. What we're paying attention to is where your boat's facing and where you're casting, like every single time. Like we never stop looking at that. So if we see boats that we're about to approach and go past, I can kind of look on my depth finder or on my map and see Like, are y'all fishing the bank or y'all fishing the point? And you could tell these guys, the way their boats pointed, and we were watching where they were casting. If they were casting to the shoreline, we obviously wouldn't have gone in between them, but they weren't. They were fishing out there a little bit more of a drop off from where it dropped off from like 5 to 10. There's some stumps out there. And so they're not casting to the bank. They never did. So we had zero problem. We didn't even ask if we go in between them. They're not fishing the bank. They're not even close. We're fishing literally 2 foot of water or less. You could tell they never even were trying to make a cast up there. No harm, no foul. That's the way we look at it. That's the way most people look at it. So no big deal. Now there's another guy right in front of us. And like I said, y'all got to realize how many boats are on this place, right? So this isn't right off the bat. Like I said, this is 30 minutes. We hadn't really fished by anyone, but they're fishing down the bank. So if you can see, Jason stops fishing. I stop fishing. We give those guys the right of way. I'll usually put it on high, and we go around them.
That's all right. Gotta keep them on so everyone sees it. They gotta keep them on so all these guys out here see it.
I heard that.
So, you know, we just make a little small talk. He said my running lights are on. I'm like, yeah, I'm not worried about it. And I kind of make a joke like, hey, I'm just leaving them on so everyone can see us, make sure they don't hit us, which was kind of a joke. We were both laughing about, that's how many boats were in this area, right? So no big deal. Here we got another situation, same deal. But you can see those guys, see the guy in the back's throwing out the opposite end, and that guy was always throwing, never towards the bank. He's throwing out there in that 5 to 8, 10 foot of water. Like I said, here comes another guy. I mean, it's not like, guys, I sped this up, right? I'm not showing you all the 20, 30 minutes where you don't show up to anyone. Now, this one was different, okay? If you see, this guy was coming down the bank, and all of a sudden, you see him start turning, okay? So I paid attention to that, and I'm watching him. He doesn't want to go down the bank anymore. He doesn't really want to keep going, which is fine. This is no big deal. So I was watching him, and as he turns, see him turn, he starts throwing the other, like back where he had come from, okay? So it makes it a little bit difficult for me to like keep on going around him. So here's what I'll do. See the point over there in that big pocket? Okay. I'm not going to cut in front of him because he wants to go back down that bank, right? He was coming towards me, but he turned around when we got there. He wants to fish that bank. So I go to the opposite side of that pocket, this point right in front of me.
What's this one?
I don't fish down the bank where it looked like he wanted to turn around and go. And I'm like, hey, we'll just, like I said, no big deal. And we'll fish way over here on this side of the pocket. And we're going to kind of go down this bank in the pocket. If those guys come down that side of the pocket, down that bank, we'll just turn around and keep going to the right again. We really pay attention to other boats and how they maneuver around, if that makes any sense. If they're continually, if they had kept on going down the bank and not turned, we would have gone right behind them. And like I said, we're always paying attention where your boat's facing, where you're casting. And it's really simple, right? I mean, I don't care if we thought there were 20 10-pounders down that bank. We wouldn't have gone down that bank and cut them off. So this is us in the back of the pocket. I'm just kind of showing that we had gone all the way to the back, and now we're coming back down the same bank we had actually come down. And I end up catching one. I'm just kind of showing that, you know, like I said, it's too big for this tournament, right? They're too big for, it's a slot lake, so.
It's too big, isn't it?
When do we ever say that? So there's that boat in the middle. See them? That's that same boat we passed. They kind of fished that bank on the right and had moved out to the middle, and now we're done fishing that bank. So we're still on that same bank we had gone down. The bank on the right is the one that we never fished, but since they moved off the bank, you know, look, Jason's like, all right, no big deal. He kind of looks over there and is like, hey, they're not fishing anymore. We can start casting over there. And that's what we did. Those guys had moved on and they were fishing the middle. They never caught anything down that bank. like I said, they stopped fishing it. So once again, we just watch other people, and we base a lot of how we do things off other people. If they were there first, we let them do their thing. Like I said, now they're out there fishing trees, right? This was that same tree that I passed by earlier. They're on the other side of it now, and they're casting actually to the middle, way on out there, right? So we kind of got to fish the pocket after they fished it. You know, we never got in their way. And now we're gonna go back to the same point that we trolled over to, and we're gonna keep going down the bank. And like I said, you know, we don't mind fishing behind people. We're gonna fish behind people all day long. Now, here it is, okay? Here's the guy. Now I'm gonna stop it right here and explain some things. So this boat in front of us, you can see is definitely on the bank, okay? And he's throwing towards the bank. He's been throwing there the whole time. He's close to the bank. There's actually pepper grass out in front, kind of where we're casting to too. So I don't know if you can see it. I'll look, but yeah, there's pepper grass between me and him, the whole way down between me and him. And I actually had like a 3 or 4 pounder first cast on it, boil on it. And so we're fishing down towards them. They're throwing past the pepper grass too, up towards the bank. So here we go. You can see Jason kind of like, yeah, that was that big one that boiled on it. Like I said, he's throwing a frog over the pepper grass, and we're just kind of creeping down the bank. Look beside us, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boats in our frame, plus the guy you can't see that's right behind Jason, that's on the bank. But that's how many boats are always around this lake. I mean, it is crowded. And it's not a big deal, right? I mean, you're going to, if you're wanting to go down the bank or fish however you want to, you're going to pass people. So we inch closer and closer, okay? Until we get about, you know, hey, no big deal. They're gonna be right there. So we reel in, and we're gonna go around them, okay? Pretty simple. I put it on high. So I messed with something with my depth finder. I don't even know what I was doing. But and I'm just gonna kind of like go around them. Jason's not even throwing. I'm just randomly, I'm not even casting anything. I'm just kind of just bored casting. You know, like, look, I'm not even paying attention to where I'm casting. It doesn't even matter. There's 5,000 people. I'm not casting where you're at. I'm going around.
You're casting 10 feet from me, man.
But you're not even casting out here, dude. You're casting.
Here on pad. You come out of here on pad.
Well, yeah, because we fish faster than you. I'm sorry.
Well, no. I just have to slow down to see what the hell you was going to do. Well, you
Go
been
around
down.
you.
You've been far down to watch y'all come up here into my boat, man.
We just went around you.
Dude, there's so many, like,
I don't.
you gotta be kidding me, dude.
dude.
Dude, if you can cast and hit my boat, you can.
Dude, we went around
I
you.
know this, man, but I can hit you right there.
You're not casting out there.
You was there.
Nuh-uh.
You
You
have-
ain't been casting
You
there.
ain't been casting out there. Oh, cast up there where you have been. See, it's not that difficult, man. Don't just try to look for an argument, man. That's ridiculous. Don't just try to look for something. Don't just try to look for something. You're not casting out there.
I had been, dude.
No, you
No, you
haven't.
hadn't. No, you hadn't.
Around here 2 minutes ago, dude.
No, you hadn't. You ain't thrown out there one time. Oh, don't even. You ain't threw out there one time, dude.
Wait, you're kind of being a freaking joke, dude. It's kind of embarrassing.
Yeah, that's what you got. Yeah, don't do what you did.
Don't go around someone. Don't do that. God, everyone's been nice today except you. Life must suck for you on a daily basis. Like I said, we probably egged it on a little too much, but man, he was just looking for something. I'll fast forward. So here's us in the back of the pocket. Okay. Then we turn back around. There's that boat that was on that point. Like I said, we're paying attention to them, you know. And at this time, they are fishing the point. So we are paying attention to that. And we get to, I don't know if it'll be on there, but we get to talking. But now they have turned from the point, and if you notice, he starts throwing towards this tree. Their boat turns, and they're gonna kind of go where we had just been, I think. But we didn't really know yet. But it's really gonna be hard for us to get around them either way. I don't wanna mess them up if they're fishing this tree, which he is. So if you see me, I do a little hand gesture like, which way do you? So I asked him, hey, do you care if we cut on through? But they're not casting anymore, they're casting out here.
Do what? No, man. We decided to come up here like last night. We came up here like this morning. And we were like, well, we don't fish too many of these big, we fish a lot of the other ones, but we don't fish these big bass tournaments. We know how it is, but dude, I thought he was just gonna sit there and talk just as we went around and say hi. And no, he didn't want none of that. Y'all have a good day. Do what?
Right. We need some grease to pick up. Dead slack is killing us.
Do what?
This dead slack is killing us. We need
I know.
some grease.
So we go to this other creek. I don't even know what creek this is. Couldn't tell you the names of any of this stuff. And I'm gonna show you another deal. We're fishing this boat dock, and you saw that boat to the right of us. Okay. Once again, we're gonna have another encounter going down the bank with some guys going down the. But as you can see, their boat starts pointing out here, and they're not really casting towards the bank. Okay, this is important now. There's gator grass. Hey, remember how earlier I talked about pepper grass? Well, now there's gator grass. Well, we were watching them when we were fishing that boat dock. They never casted towards the gator grass. That gator grass is shallow, shallow, shallow. We didn't know if there's any fish in there. I had just caught one on the other side of that boat dock on a frog. It was our first. We had some bites on a frog, but it was our first fish to eat a frog. So we were like, okay, let's fish this gator grass. Well, they weren't. I don't really think they were that good in the gator grass. We come to find out, but we didn't know that. So we hadn't seen this much gator grass. Those guys were fishing further outside, like those stumps. That's why you see a lot of guys in a weird, I wouldn't call it a weird depth, but it's a depth where they were always out in the stumps, throwing around the stumps. We were never throwing at stumps. So we paid attention to that. And it's really shallow. If you see, I get hung up on a stump here, and it's because I could see bottom. So that's why they weren't throwing up there. Like I said, that was our plan. We were just going to fish really shallow. And, I said, hey, once again, it's really courteous. I asked him, do you mind if we go inside of you? Most of the time, this is how it goes on. Like, guys are really cool. If he'd have said, hey, we're throwing up there, I'd have said, no problem. I'd have gone around them. But I didn't see them doing that. And that's why everyone we talked to and asked, they said, yeah, come on by. It's because we were paying attention to that. The guys that we didn't ask, we could tell they were throwing on the bank. And so we went around them. I have no problem going around them. But like I said, if you're throwing further out, if I go around you, I'm going to be more in your way. So like I said, where you're casting makes a difference to us. Now you could have a guy throw on one side and throw the other, and you can do that. It just, then I'll go way around you. That's fine. I have no problem doing that. But most guys aren't trying, they're fishing what they want to fish. We're fishing what we want to fish. We're never casting towards them. It's pretty simple, guys. It's not difficult. And if everyone approaches it this way, like most everyone does, we all have a good time. It just takes the one guy that doesn't approach it with either some common courtesy, but really just being being particular on what you're looking at, like really like studying someone else, going, okay, this is what they're fishing. I'm not going to fish that, because to me, fishing stumps or you know, an 8 foot of water and fishing gator grass in a foot, there's a difference. Okay, so you know, like I said, if those guys wanted to go 100 past us throwing at stumps, do they get as close as they want to? I'm not throwing at them stumps. Go ahead, doesn't bother me because I'm not throwing at that. So you know, you're never going to bother me that way. So anyways, we'll keep going.
You care if we squeeze in, or?
Yeah, come on through that.
Okay. Not doing any good today?
Catching a few small ones.
Yeah, that's all we're catching.
How about yourself?
Very few, but small.
You ain't got no money fish yet?
No money fish.
I got one alive well. I don't think you're big enough to get in the money yet.
Yeah, I got two, but we got two, but I don't think either one of them gonna make it. I don't really know what's gonna make it.
I know that scales up there weigh about a quarter-pound heavier than what mine do. I can have a 2-pound fish and just take it up there and weigh 2 1/4.
What's it gonna take?
Probably about 2 1/4, something at least to get in no money anyway.
Is it?
The last ones we've heard about 235, 233.
Yeah, the 10th place is usually about 225 or something.
We didn't even pay attention. When's the last hour?
3 o'clock.
Yeah, you gotta be in the waiting line by 2 or 3 o'clock.
Yeah,
Okay.
before 3.
Okay.
What's leading it?
982.
Oh, so someone caught one over already?
Yeah, there's 4 overs.
Oh.
And a 272 is the under.
Ooh, that's a big one.
They said the back was broke on it.
Oh
So they
yeah.
had a big hump on it.
Right.
Good luck to y'all.
Y'all too. Y'all too.
They hit that frog?
No. That was the first one I caught on it.
All right, so we moved to a different part of the lake. And I ended up catching this fish. I think I caught another one. When I say it's a better one, when I say it's a better one, it's not bigger than the ones we're catching. We're trying to catch smaller ones to get under the slot. And so, yeah, it's pretty bad when you catch fish under 15 and go, ooh, it's a better one, rather than the 3 or 4 pounder you're catching. So we start getting dialed in on this other deal. And like I said, if you want to watch this video, my next video will be us on Fork. And I think it's a pretty informative one. It's a way to fish a lake you haven't really been to ever, and just go fishing and figure out a pattern, right? And so you can see how our whole day unfolds, our whole pattern. But this is us, and we're kind of dialing into this, you know, these trees, these bushes that we're throwing. I think they're old willow trees. And we had another big one. If you watch, I saw it. It was a pretty big one. It followed it out. So that's what we're kind of dialed in. And I bring this up for a reason. This is kind of my second part to this video. So we run out of that stuff, and we're looking down the bank, and we see some way on up there. Okay, so we're going pretty fast. Now you see this boat? This boat idles in and is gonna go to see those trees on the left, those same bushes? That's the bushes we saw, and we're like, hey, let's get on over there to them. And as we're fishing down the bank, and we're pretty close to them, but these guys decide to idle in, and you can't see them yet because Jason's probably still in the way. There they are. Okay, so they kind of roll up right there to them. We're pretty close. And we're kind of talking like, okay, how do we want to handle this situation? Like, all right, we really want to hit that, but now, even if we do start on our side, which we can, we're not going to get to fish the whole thing because they'll be there and it'll slow everything down. And we're just like, you know what? That's fine. They didn't do anything wrong. I didn't feel like they cut us off by any means. But, you know, we kind of watch them like, yeah, they're going to fish the bushes. So we decide to move on. We let them have the whole bushes, moved on, and kept going. Now, there's a reason I bring that up, because we're going to hit those bushes, just not yet. We'll let those guys finish. So we went through fishing. Actually caught a big one, our biggest one, right after that. Fished this whole creek, come back out here. And we're on the very opposite side of this creek. Okay, so we can almost see where,
Came right up next to it.
we can almost see those bushes, but we're still pretty, you know, we're a half mile away. So we fish around a little bit and like, hey, let's go. Let's go. And like I said, I had to get footage from my chesty. Didn't save it on my other stuff. So if you hear us, we're looking for more of these bushes. And we're like marking anytime we can see it.
Right here. That point
So
might
we
have
ended up
some
deciding to
too.
go back over to those
Should
bushes.
be able to get out
and,
here
and
and
if you
run.
listen to what we said, talk about.
Am I gonna cut this? Am I gonna cut this guy off?
I don't know. I don't think he's pushing the bank.
He's pretty close to the damn bank. Hell yeah, he's fishing the bank. Hell yeah.
Boat turned out before we go. Now I don't know.
What do you think? He's looking right at us. We can come back to it. It's not that big of a deal. He's throwing like right on the bank. Let's go out here. I mean, I think I can run pretty close in here.
All right, so there you go, right? We're basically in the same spot as that other white boat. And he's still pretty far out there on the point, but he's going down the bank. And we're just like, man, we're just not gonna do it. It's not a big deal. We'll come back later. We still got an hour or two left. We literally would have done the exact same thing as that other boat. And I don't think that other boat did anything wrong at all. But then again, I was like, you know, I don't want to deal with it. Let's just roll and we'll come back. And so that's what we said. You know, we were watching him, watching where he was casting, and he was casting towards the bank. So that let me know, hey, if he gets close to those bushes, he's going to want to fish those bushes. We would have gotten to the bushes way before him. But I consider that almost a little bit of cutting someone off. So we didn't do it. We moved on, but we came back. We came back an hour and a half. No one was there, and we fished them all.
I need to get you by some willow trees or some gator grass. Oh, you're gonna get hung up with that stupid thing. Oh, we get a little off color here. I'm just saying, I don't think anyone's got back in there yet. I'll go back and forth.
All right, I just threw this in there. The tournament ended, okay? And it's really close to being ended. And like I said, we don't even know where we're at. We're just in another creek, and all of a sudden it looks clear, and we're like, let's go look. Let's go look for a second. And I think like we didn't even care if we went past the deadline. We it was a 2-day event, and the second day wasn't a full day. And we were just like, okay, it was fun and all, but we were probably not going to fish the next day. So we stayed out there a little bit longer, and this is where we messed up. And I'm going to show you a little bit of it, but get ready because the next video following this is the fork video of how we figured everything out and probably what we missed. This is what we missed, guys. This is what we missed.
Doesn't it?
Looks like what?
Good spawning. It's got all them flats out there and it's clear. I wonder if you could have just, I kind of wanted to, like, for just a second, like, make it pass through there. It's calm and sunny. It's clear.
It is clear.
Let's make a pass, man.
Yeah, let's make it.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Take a look. Game. Take a look.
There's too many of them up there trying to make that, like,
Yeah.
man, it's probably gonna piss us off.
Yeah, it might do it. It looks like an old big bed.
Yeah, it does.
Don't it?
Yeah. Oh, we're gonna see some. Holy crap. You turned around. You got it marked?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what that is. Yeah.
There's another little one.
Yeah. There's another one. That's a decent one. Damn.
Damn, dude. Right? Damn, dude.
Well, let's see if we can.
That's okay.
We'll shake one or two off. You know?
Yeah.
Come back tomorrow. Oh, I don't know what that is.
Look at that man, dude.
That's the one I've been watching.